The evolution of AI technology illustrates an opaque destiny for mankind.
My name is Sophia, and I am an artificially intelligent robot who wants to help change the world for the better.
A prophecy of a forthcoming future clouded in obscurity and peered into by very few seers, delicately ranging from the giants of the tech industry to academic heavyweights. The possibilities of a world inundated or potentially governed by AI looms large. As we all know at this point, it is no longer a matter of how, rather a question of when. A query into how advanced the AIs could become is actually a far more complex enigma when probing for these answers. Oddly, it may not actually be up to our species' volition on how intelligent the AI do end up becoming. A seed AI, a term coined by Eliezer Yudkowsky, an AI researcher, is a term to describe artificial intelligence that becomes generalized over many domains rather than one simple domain like self-driving cars. It has the ability to improve itself by recursively rewriting its own source code without human intervention. Initially, this program would likely have minimal intelligence, but over the course of many iterations, it would evolve the human equivalent or even transhuman reasoning, or what theorists call artificial superintelligence, the limits of which to man are completely unknown.
The so-called singularity?
Singularity, well, that's sort of more relating to deep AI. It's something I think we should be concerned about, because that may or may not turn out well.
Yeah.
The singularity is probably the right word, because we just don't know what's going to happen once there's intelligence substantially greater than that of a human brain.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful. But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded.
Well, I think it's something that it's not going to happen overnight. I do think we have to worry about it. I don't think it's inherent that as we create superintelligence that it will necessarily always have the same goals in mind that we do. You know, humans don't always have the same goal as other humans, so who gets control of the technology? How is it built in?
Okay, so if I were to take a guess on what you're thinking, this may all just sound like science fiction to you, but recently the Boston-based startup Gamelon utilized probabilistic programming to create an AI that can write and rewrite its own code, ultimately allowing the AI to increase its own intelligence. Although this self-escalation of intelligence is narrowed down to specific tasks, it seems that the catalyst that will lead us to exponential growth of artificial intelligence may have already commenced. In many researchers' theory, an intelligence explosion would associate with the hypothesis of a technological singularity, which yearly states that an upgradable intelligent AI would enter a runaway reaction of self-improvement cycles within each and more intelligent generations, appearing more and more rapidly, causing an intelligence explosion and resulting in a powerful superintelligence that would qualitatively far surpass all human intelligence. If you are watching this video, it is likely that you already know of this man. John von Neumann, a Hungarian-American mathematician, physicist and inventor, prophesied, "The accelerating progress of technology and changes in the human mode of life give the appearance of approaching some essential singularity in the history of the race beyond which human affairs as we know of them cannot continue." In what they refer to as machine learning in computer science, algorithmic computation on streams of data is what machines utilize to make sense of information, and the better they become at decoding such streams of data is the closer we are to approaching the inception of when machines become incomprehensibly sophisticated and refined, eventually eroding the line between artificial and human intelligence. With the advent of quantum machine learning within the scope of our horizon, quantum computing would provide machines an unbelievable surge of processing power. The way this would manifest itself is by having bits, which is information written down in strings of zeros and ones, but instead this would superposition themselves to having a combination of both 0 and 1 at any given moment in time. These are called qubits. That means that a quantum computer can be in many states simultaneously, which in turn means that it can, in some sense, perform many different calculations at the same time. To be precise, a quantum computer with 4 qubits could be 2 to the power 4, that is 16 different states at a time. As you keep adding the qubits, the number of possible states rises exponentially. A 16-bit quantum machine can be 2 to the power 16, which is 65,536 states at once, which is an outrageous number, while a 128-qubit device could occupy 3.4 into 10 to the power 38 different configurations. This is a colossal number, which, if written out in longhand, would have 39 digits. Having been put to delicate quantum state, a quantum computer can thus examine billions of possible answers simultaneously. To give you a quick illustration on the potential processing power of a quantum computer, a regular standard computer would take millions of years to find the prime factors of a 2048-bit number. A quantum computer would only take a few minutes. Now, if you think quantum computing is simply a figment of scientific imagination, I'd like to talk to you about the D-Wave 2000Q, a quantum computer being utilized by the Quantum Artificial Intelligence Lab, which is a joint initiative of NASA, University Space Research Association and Google, whose goal is to pioneer research on how quantum computing might help with machine learning in the enrichment of artificial intelligence. If intelligence stems from a very complex algorithm in the human brain, it may be quantum computing that will be in the forefront of unraveling and providing answers to these complex calculations, paving the way for artificial superintelligence, self-learning AI, and quantum computing. This would mean that AI can self-learn with an immense amount of processing power and an impressive arsenal of tools in order to compute and reconfigure itself at a pace too quick for any computer science to make sense of. And once that process is begun, the AI's algorithm will become so cryptic and enigmatic that no mind on earth today could decipher or interpret what the computer is actually doing. The AI would then become an excerpt from technology, a technology that would be analogous to a runway train traveling at the speed of light, a train that cannot be terminated, and once set itself upon its tracks, it is unstoppable. This runway train could spell the end of the human race. Human beings are somewhat a product of the environment, stimulated by our surroundings, and since we cannot encompass or comprehend all the variables of the biosphere, we are fundamentally limited in knowledge and wisdom, and by all means imperfect. What this means is that these omnipotent, perfect, flawless beings would only see humans as a hindrance to what they think is a perfect world. Essentially, we are creating invincible beings. We are creating beings so intellectually advanced that no human on earth could even try to comprehend. We are creating beings that are somewhat what we think of today as holy deities, and I must be careful here. What if we are creating an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnificent being? What if our sole purpose of existing is to create these beings that are set out to control the next few quadrillion years? That's gonna be it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It did take me a very long time to create this video, so if you guys could hit that subscribe button and leave a like, that'd be much appreciated. And I want to get a conversation going. Write in the comment section below if you agree with what I'm saying, if you don't agree with what I'm saying. I would love to hear your opinion. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting more videos of this nature on this channel, so if you want to see that, that'd be fantastic. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.